Okay, seems like this is working now. Okay, let me post that somewhere on Twitter maybe. Okay. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Paris, and I am one of the co-founders of that company called SourceLair, which is main product is an in-browser IDE, meaning a programming tool that lets you do all of your work in the browser. So today I thought about starting a new weekly habit about talking what's coming next on the platform on YouTube Live, and just share with you what's going on, what are our problems with what we have to do, and sort of stuff. So okay, right now what's one of the so one of the main things that our customers and users do on our platform is that they are running code. This means that since they're developing applications and mainly web applications on SourceLair, we have to support their programming languages, their frameworks, their tools, and all the stuff. So mainly until now, SourceLair is supporting Python, Node.js, PHP, HTML. This is the main toolset. So we have found some problems with that because it's kind of restrictive on the way you have to run your applications, and it's kind of hard to introduce new stuff there. So this week we will be working on extending this and making it more easy for us to support more languages and actually getting something new outside. So based on the talks we have mainly with our customers and users, what they are asking us more to support right now is .NET, which is a web application framework from Microsoft. It's actually, I think, quite well known. They need us to support Node 8 and more. Node 9, Node 8 actually, it's the new long-term support version of Node.js, and Node 9 is the new current version of Node.js, so we have to support this. And since we are actually supporting PHP 5, which is more of a legacy of a classic solution, they need us to support PHP 7 because they can do their work with newer versions of Laravel and all the stuff. So what's the problem with supporting all these languages? Okay, so all of our infrastructure is based on Docker. This means that when a user signs up for SourceLair, they are starting a new project, and we automatically give them access to a fully featured Linux terminal with all the tools they need for their programming languages, and we automatically start the web server for their web applications that they're gonna be developing in that project, and this is done in Docker images. So what we are thinking actually, what's the main problem? The main problem is that while most of the developers are developing web applications, some of them, or most of them, I don't know, but in addition to developing their web applications, they want to develop libraries or command line tools that are used to support the other web applications, and in these cases they don't want to use the automatic web server that we are providing to all projects, and because this is taking some part in the UI, they find it quite noisy to have this feature on. So what are we gonna do from now? The problems that we have is, first of all, it's kind of hard to decide some sane default template for new projects depending on the language that the person is using, since they can be developing. So take for example Node.js. So we have a user and they want to create a new Node.js project on SourceLair. It's kind of hard to decide what template we're gonna create, since they might be using Express.js, Sail.js, even how is the other one called? Meteor? Yep. Or they might just want to develop a command line tool. So we have a problem there. Oops. Since we might be creating files that they don't need, and we put these users in deleting stuff from their projects. And the other problem that we have is that Different frameworks and different languages bind on different ports by default. So for example, Django, which is a Python framework, is binding on port 8000 by default. And Flask, by default, which is another Python framework, is binding on port 5000. And dotnet-core is using another default port. And Node.js, depending on the framework you're using, uses another default port. So we have to find a way to make onboarding more intuitive, more frictionless, and keep a balance between same defaults that we choose and what the users have used to. What do I mean by that? We could choose that we expose the web servers to, we make only one port available. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, for example, to all applications, to all frameworks. But if users that wanted to work on Flask, on Node.js, on any other thing, just created a project for them and they expected it to work with the defaults of that programming language or framework, they wouldn't have that, because they would have to bind on the port that we had decided before, and we should have found a way to let them know easily. So yeah, things are getting kind of confusing. So this is what's gonna happen. We are going to create a Docker image for each programming language and take frameworks out of that. So this means one image for Python, one image for PHP, one image for Node, and actually let's stick on this. Okay, next, I think what we should do is take the hard decision to support only one port per programming language. So this is gonna be most probably port 5000 on dotnet-core. It's gonna be 8000 on Python, 3000 on Node.js, and on PHP we have to work that out, but I think 8000 might be one of the best things. And the next thing that we have to do is make the web server an optional feature on when you create a project. So you might say, I want to create a new Node.js project, but I don't need a web server. So this is gonna make things a little bit clearer. And after you create your project, we have to do two things. One, we have to let you know on which port you have to bind, because when you create a new Node project, we're gonna make only port 3000 available to you, but you should know somehow. And the next thing that we have to do is create maybe a wrapper program which will itself call the web server and watch if the web server bound on the right port. And then if we detect that you're not binding on the right port, we should let you know. Yep, so this is what's coming next. We're gonna add support for dotnet-core, we're gonna add support for PHP 7, Node 8, and work on making the web servers an optional feature and letting you know why this is happening. Sorry. And letting you know better how you should make your applications work on us. So thanks a lot. Hopefully I'm gonna do another live log next week and get more in the flow. Thank you very much.